Hey everyone, Shadows here. Today I'm showing you how to port environmental props from the game files of Fortnite over to Blender to use for scene builds. So the first thing you have to do is go to the link in the description below, glider.org, where you can download UModel, which is the program I'm going to be using, as you can see like right here. To go into the game files, grab all the stuff from the game and get it into Blender. So you're going to scroll down, starting at the top, or just click that download button. Click it and it will take you down to this download section. So Linux, obviously if you're using Linux, download that version, but for Windows, we're just going to click that download button. It will download on your computer and it will come out like this, a UModel_Win32 zip file. So if you just literally open this up using WinRAR, literally anything, free version, they like do this every time, it's very jarring. Anyway, these three files here, top one you won't need, readme.txt, just get these two files, drag them onto your desktop, literally anywhere for now. We're going to be putting them inside our packs folder, which I'll show you in a second. So you can close this, you can literally delete this right now, we don't need this anymore. Now you've got to go find your packs folder for Fortnite. So make sure you have Fortnite installed on your computer. That's basically what you need. We're going to go and find our packs folder. So we're going to go to the Windows C drive on your computer, Program Files, Epic Games, Fortnite, Fortnite Game, Content, Packs, and then here is your packs folder. This is where literally all of every single one of these files makes up the Fortnite game. So all you need to do, drag these two files into your packs folder. Just a quick side note before we actually get into the UModel. For UModel needs updating every now and then, so there's updates for UModel quite regularly, and you're going to need to update it when there's updates, because sometimes UModel will break. Either your Fortnite isn't updated or your UModel isn't updated, so make sure your UModel is updated to the latest version whenever it starts breaking. If it works perfectly fine, then there's no need to update it, but make sure whenever it stops working to try and update it. Or make sure your Fortnite's updated, because you need to make sure the Fortnite's on the latest version so it can actually get into those new game files. Anyway, I'm just going to double click on UModel. You will see this little command prompt pop up and this UE viewer startup options. Leave this, this should end in packs. All you need to make sure is that this ends in PAKS, this little directory thing, path to the game files. So make sure that ends in packs. If it doesn't, go and find it by clicking these three little buttons here for go and find your packs folder. All you need to do is tick override game detection, basically copy what I'm doing right now. Tick override game detection, select the most recent version of Unreal Engine. So for me it's 4, might be 5, might be 6 by the time you're watching this video, but for me it's just 4, so click 4. And then this little drop down arrow here, pick the latest version yet again. So for me it's 4.24, could be literally anything for you, but it could be like 5.4, 5.34, I don't know. Just pick the most recent version, tick this sound right here, and then click OK. Now, you need an AES key to get inside the game files. This is to go inside, grab all the stuff. It's basically a little like key that you need to get in. So the way we're going to find these AES keys is if you go to the link in the description below, and you can find my Discord server. This Discord server is an absolutely massive 3D art Discord server. So if you're starting new with 3D art, or you're just looking for some people to talk about it with, this is the server for you. We've got 3,960 members as of this video, but literally while I've started recording, 1855, which is literally like 5 minutes ago, we've got new members. We've got new members joining every single day. We're growing. Sorry to stealth promo here, but join the Discord basically. And it's also good for AES keys. So if you go down to the AES key channel, here we are, the latest AES key. It will always be updated every time there's a single update. And if you just need to find it, we've got cool commands, you know. You just go to this UModel chat or any chat and just do !AES, and it will show you the latest AES key, which is, I think is quite cool. All you need to do is just copy this AES key, which starts with 0x and then whatever, bunch of random numbers. Just make sure you right click, select it all, copy, go to UModel, right click and paste. Just click OK, and literally the game files just open up for you like this. Very simple. Takes quite a short second because there's a lot of stuff to open. Found 617,000. A lot of stuff in here. This is what makes up everything in Fortnite. Literally every single thing that is in Fortnite as of this current update is here. You can find it, but we're looking at props, so ignore all these folders. We're going to go down to the environments folder. This is where 99% of all the props, sets, all that sort of stuff they're going to use for scene builds are in. So Apollo is the name for the chapter 2 map. So if you're looking for any props that are exclusive to chapter 2, then go to this Apollo folder. So if we go inside, we got the props, and here's all stuff from like factory pipes, craggy cliffs, all of this stuff, mossy heads. I'm pretty sure this is the textures for the Durr Burger, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so if you're looking for anything chapter 2 related that's brand new chapter 2, look in here. So one of the scenes I'm doing in the future that I've already put all the stuff for Slurp Factory. I've ported the barrels, these little barrels that you smash in the Slurp Factory. Here are these. Literally, you can look through and find basically any prop in the game. So those are all Apollo Chapter 2 map, just remember that. And then you got Arid, like the diner props, that diner from the last season. If you go to the sets, meshes, you can find the cup sign at the top. It's basically, you just search through this basically. There's no like directory, like with the porting skins, there's a little list, an IDs list that tells you all the names of the skins, but with this there isn't, so you sort of guess. But there is a trick to find out what a certain thing is called in a UModel, but I won't be showing this video because it's quite complicated. But if you want me to make a video on that in the future, then let me know. Anyway, most of the stuff, ignore these folders up here. 99% of all the props will be found in either the props folder or the sets folder. So the props, there's so many little folders. Academic props, these aren't even in Battle Royale, they're from Save the World. Like school podium, like half of these I didn't even know existed. So I find it whenever I'm running out of scene build ideas, I just have a look through the files and try and find some cool stuff I can make some scene builds with. You literally find elementary school, Halloween props, hospital props. Just basically search through these, and if you're looking for a specific thing, then look for names similar, like suburban will be like all suburban props, like there'll be houses, garden gnomes, all that sort of stuff. So I'm gonna stop rambling because I'll just end up rambling for a long time, like I've done in previous attempts at this video. But just look for whatever you want. Anyway, for this tutorial, I'm just gonna choose a random thing to start porting. So I'm gonna choose a drive-in. So in this drive-in folder, just quite a good tip from me, there might be better concrete slabs, but there is a concrete slab in this folder. So if you're looking for a generic like concrete floor for a scene build, then this is where I normally go. Drive-in, meshes, concrete slab. So I just like porting this for the floor of the scene. It looks quite nice. It looks just basically average, and it's a nice floor for a scene build. Also, just another tip, flat view up here. If you don't know what this is, it's a way you can search for stuff. So if I'm looking for a chair for a scene build, I can just type chair into the filter and then tick flat view, and all the chairs will pop up. So ignore game/Athena or anything. We're going for game/environment. So keep on scrolling down till you find environments, and here are all the chairs. So the textures and materials, ignore this for now, just look at the meshes. So here we've got a chair right here. We've got some more chairs down here. Office chair, why not? There's literally tons and tons of chairs and anything you could literally ever want by scrolling down here. So there's a lot of stuff you can use for scene builds. I'm only showing you a tiny bit of it. There's a lot you can find. Anyway, I'm just going to choose a random chair. Living room chair. Okay, that's an ugly chair. I don't like that. Dining chair. Okay, fine. We're going to port this. So you can just choose anything you want, find it, and you can port it. So once you've found the model you want, just go find it in the without flat view. Find it right here. We can right click and export, but not yet. We've got to set an export folder. So we're going to go to tools, options, and we're going to export to this folder. So it exports to your packs folder, but we're going to find one on the desktop. So we're just going to go this PC, desktop, and we're just going to make a new folder, and we're going to call it like export or something. So I've got to rename it. It's a bit of a pain. Rename. We're going to call it export. You can just call it whatever you want. Just name it. Right, click on it and click OK, and just leave everything as it is. Click OK, and now you can just right click and export. So it will do this little pop up at the top. It will change some stuff in the command prompt to make it look like it's exporting it, and it will appear on your desktop. So if you go to export right here, we can look inside these files and find it. Now we've got to also export the textures, so just go to the textures folder underneath it, and just you might as well select everything. I don't really know exactly what we're porting, but right click and export. Anyway, once we've done that, we're finished with UModel. You can export as much stuff as you want, find the stuff you need for the scene, and export it. So we're going to close UModel, close everything. I'm just going to show you a quick tutorial on how to texture it. So if you open up Blender, we're just going to open it up, and now we need to download something. We need to download the io_import_scene_. It's a long name, but just go to this link in the description and download this. Click download. It will be a .py file. So we've got this on our desktop right here. That very long name .py. We're just going to go into Blender, and we're going to edit up here and preferences. So this is where you can like install extra add-ons to help you. So I've got a bunch of random add-ons in here, like importing FBX files, all this sort of random stuff. But we're going to need to import .psk files, which are the files that Fortnite uses for their like models. So we're going to go to add-ons down here and click install. Now we've got to find this IO file, so I just dragged it to the desktop, the .py file. Drag it wherever you want really. I've dragged it to my desktop, so select it and click install add-on from file. You've got to find it in here. So install add-on from file and then tick this little box here and it's installed. So now when we go to file, import, there's also a .psk and .psa option. So I'll make a tutorial in the future on importing PSAs, but for now we're just importing PSKs. So literally just click this PSK option and now we've got to find our models. So our model is in the export folder on our desktop. That's where we exported it to. So literally just click the desktop or wherever you saved your models. Go through the folders. So export game. I think it was in environments, props. I think it was in Transylvania or residential. It is in one of these. And here's our mesh. So just find it in your folder where you found it in UModel, props, residential, meshes, dining set, chairs. So we're gonna double click that and it will load into Blender. So right now it's a very low poly, non-textured version of it. So we're going to right click and shade smooth. This will get rid of all the pixely and blocky parts of it. And we're going to click this little third circle up here so that it looks more white and now the textures. That was solid mode. So none of the textures show in solid mode if there was textures, but in viewport it will show up. So now we've just got to add the textures, simple as that. We're going to go to the link in the description below where you can download FN Shader. It's so much help doing Blender, honestly. It will honestly save your life texturing. It takes so long to texture, normally adding like RGB curves, all that sort of stuff. So just download FN Shader. We're going to go back to Blender, File, Append, and now we're going to find that FN Shader. So I dragged to the desktop, just find that. Click on it, click on Node Tree, this Node Tree folder, and just double click on the FN Shader Advanced. Now you won't see anything happen, but behind the scenes it's adding something to this project. It's adding like a shader that we can use for texture. So just click on your chair so it outlines in orange. Go to the shading tab and make sure that this says object and not world. So just click object, tick use nodes, and here is the texture. So if we do anything, if we change the base color of this chair, we can make it whatever color we want, but that is ridiculous. So we're going to delete this principal BDSF and we're going to add search FN Shader. So because we appended it earlier, that's why it's there. So we're going to select FN Shader and connect shader to surface, and now we just got to add the textures. So we're going to add a bunch of image textures and just add the D, N and S texture. So we're going to add, search, and we're going to find an image texture. We're going to drag in 3 of these. So we're just going to copy and paste, Control C, Control V. Now we've got 3 of these. We're going to connect one color to diffuse, one color to spec map, and one color to normal. So all we need to do now is just put in our N and S textures and D textures. So on the first one connecting to diffuse, we're going to open and we're going to go to the meshes folder, but go back one and go to the textures. And this dining set chair right here, we're going to do the _D texture for the first one, _D. So now if you can see, I'm pretty sure, yep, it should load. So this is the chair, this is what it looks like, but there is a bit more detail we need to add to it, because right now it looks very plain. So we need to add the S and N texture. So for the second one, going to spec map, we're gonna I can't talk. We're gonna go back to the textures folder, open, and find the _S texture. Now it's gonna look really shiny. All you need to do is change this color space sRGB, turn it to non-color, and now we just need to do the N texture for the last one to make it still a bit shiny, but we'll just make it not by adding the N texture. So the last one, going into normal map. This is probably the second most important texture after the diffuse. We're gonna click open, textures, and we're going to double click on the _N texture. Now it might look a bit blocky in render, that's why you got to set this sRGB, we've got to set it to non-color. So that is the chair. I don't really know why it's so shiny. I don't really know. I think that must be the model, but here it is. We're going to scale it down. The size of Fortnite is 0.011, so we're just going to go 0.011, copy and paste it into each of these, and now we've got a chair. We've successfully ported a chair. We can use it for scene builds. We can literally make a character sit on here. We can do whatever you want, and you can just quickly copy and paste the nodes. If I'm texturing another thing, I can just like select all of these, copy and paste over to another texture. Anyway, this is porting props. It's quite hard to find the props. If you need any help finding any props, go to the Discord server in the description below. This UModel channel, just type where can I find, for instance, this wall, and then send a screenshot or something. We will help you find it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.